All right, this next video is for the tech guys, bro. This next video is for the tech guys. I thought it was an interesting topic because it's kind of true.
In 2025, you either make a down payment on a house or you buy a mid-range PC. Over the years, video game graphics have evolved far beyond what we ever could imagine to be possible. Pores in the skin, motion capture technology, photorealistic shadows and reflections that adjust themselves properly in real time, and that was 2018. Now we have pores in the skin, motion capture technology, photorealistic shadows and reflections that adjust themselves in real time at sub 60 frames per second with the most powerful gaming GPU on the market, accompanied with ghosting, popping, input lag, flickering, motion blur without motion blur.
I'm not gonna lie, he's actually fat. He's talking fact, bro. I don't know if y'all niggas, well, I don't know how many niggas gonna be watching this who play Call of Duty on the PC. The new Black Ops 6, that game is broken. It's so unoptimized, it's insane, bro. It's better. You're better playing that shit on a console for a smooth experience. That shit is broken.
What the f happened? I'm a simple gamer, and I like to think that I play a variety of different genres. The Last of Us, Danganronpa, Silent Hill, Red Dead, Hentai Girl Karen, Fortnite. But in recent years, I found myself using mods more and more just to get my games to run well. Back in 2017, I owned a $600 PC, and I played PUBG, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, and Borderlands on it all the time. But nowadays, it's hard to run any modern title on a PC under $1,500, or at least it's hard to make the games look good.
Yeah, that's kind of fact.
Of course, technology and graphics evolve over time, but it's clear that things have gotten...
Wait, The Witcher 2X?
A little disproportionate.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is this game?
Graphics evolve over time.
These graphics are nuts. Wait, there's a new Witcher game? Hold on, bro. The Witcher 4? How the fuck I ain't never heard of this? Whoa, the graphics are fucking nuts. Is that Cece? Or not Cece, Siri. Damn, Gerald looked crazy in this game. He looked old in this game, like older than normal. You're not supposed to be that old. Yeah, I felt like The Witcher 3 just...
But it's clear that things have gotten a little disproportionate, especially when the beefiest, dump truckiest GPUs struggle to run games and don't even break the 60 FPS mark. I'm talking, of course, about the rapidly spreading virus in gaming right now, known as bad optimization. But what killed optimization? Why do developers not care for their games to run good and look good at the same time,
GTA
and
6,
instead exclusively prioritize making them appealing to the eyes? Well, like many topics, it's not so black and white, and there are a lot of reasons, and starting with the first 13th reason why: upscaling technology. In the past few years, artificial intelligence has evolved at an alarming rate.
See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. AI been making everything lazier, bro. Everything gets lazier with AI, bro. Because these new graphics cards, they have these things where it like literally can generate frames so that you get a higher FPS, but the game actually isn't running any better. It just looks smoother on your screen, which is mind-blowing.
AI is being used everywhere. We have AI-generated videos like this Coca-Cola ad I got, AI-generated essays, AI-generated songs, AI-generated comments, which is worthy of a whole different video in itself, and of course, AI-generated graphics. Well, not completely.
AI comments is nuts. Y'all niggas so unoriginal, you need AI for your comments now?
AI generated. Upscaling technology in video games works like this. The game runs at a lower resolution like 1080p, and then it gets upscaled to a higher resolution like 1440p. In theory, this will make your game look like it normally would at base resolution, but that's not necessarily true. Even on a quality setting, some problems just become glaring. In Fortnite, there's some serious shadow flickering and fuzziness going on in some areas, and in Red Dead Redemption 2, it may not seem too different at first glance, but look at how the game looks when it starts raining. What the f? AI has to guess what the game will look like at a higher resolution, and as a result, the game will never look like how the developers intended with upscaling on. I really care about vision and artistic direction, and I can't help but feel like DLSS and FSR are quick and easy solutions to improve frame rate, but molest the original theme in the background, DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, NVIDIA's upscaling technology, has settings you can choose from, such as quality, balanced performance, and ultra performance. What this does is lower the base resolution of the game, so instead of upscaling 1080p to 1440p, it'll upscale 720p or 480p to 1440p. The lower the base resolution, the more inaccurate the upscale. And for real, who the hell even plays on performance modes? DLSS is only enabled on RTX cards anyway, and I'm pretty sure all of those cards are capable enough for gamers to not have to submit to the worst case scenario to enjoy a video game.
That bitch got shot in the head 3
Another
times.
AI-generated solution modern NVIDIA GPUs are utilizing is the brand spanking new frame generation method.
This is what I was just talking about, the frame generation shit. That blows my mind how lazy niggas have gotten, bro. Frame generation, bro.
This does is it takes 2 frames from your game and will use AI to interpret what a middle frame would look like. So basically, your frame rate will go from 30 to 60. This will inevitably cause input lag, but for laid-back gamers who use wireless controllers, that won't be much of an issue, since wireless controllers obviously
God, I want to play Silent Hill so bad, bro.
Like already, so it really depends on what game you're playing.
I know this game might be so fucking scary.
A lot of you guys are probably thinking, just one N, upscaling, frame generation, this is the future of gaming. Now I can play GTA 6 on my RTX 20 shitty Ti. And my response to that is short-term solutions cause long-term problems, and it's already happening. Yes,
the input lag is so bad.
Allows gamers to not spend $1 bajillion on a new GPU, but what it also does is encourage developers to not optimize their games, since they know, hey, gamers will just turn DLSS on anyway to make the game run good. I just beat the Silent Hill 2 remake. It came out this October, and it was nothing short of mind-blowing. It was also PC-blowing because my computer sounded like a Russian bomber jet trying to run the damn thing. Still loved it to death though, and was rooting for it at the Game Awards. Come on, Luke
and
Roberts.
The winner is...
Come on, Luke.
What did win? Was it oh, let me see these games. Hellblade, Final Fantasy, Life is Strange, Star Wars Outlaws was not fucking winning whatsoever. I'm sorry, that game was dog shit. Hellblade, I said that already. Silent Hill 2. Was it Final Fantasy?
Roberts.
Is that Harrison Ford? What the?
Melinda Jurgen.
If we check the recommended... Come on, Luke
And
Roberts.
the winner is...
Melinda? Oh, it was Hellblade. Okay, I was right.
Come on, Luke Roberts.
Melinda Jurgen.
If we check the...
I didn't say Hellblade, but I'm pretty sure I remember Hellblade winning.
recommended specs for Silent Hill 2, it suggests using DLSS to play the game at a high setting on the recommended graphics card. Silent Hill 2 looks incredible, but it's also Silent Hill 2. The entire game is set in these liminal spaces, so it shouldn't be too difficult to run, even if it looks realistic. Well, if we install the Sunny Hills mod, which turns the town of Silent Hill into a normal small town on a beautiful day, we can see the actual draw distance for the game. Enemies pop in pretty close to James, but the areas that are loaded in are actually surprisingly far away. What's strange about this is that in the unmodded game, the fog is thick and so close to James, you never even see the buildings that are actually loaded in. Rendering most of the map like this at once is not only pointless, because it takes a significant chunk of performance straight out of your game for no reason at all, but it's also ironic because the fog existed in the first few Silent Hill games for this exact reason. The PlayStation 1 didn't have the power to load distant areas, and to hide the hardware shortcomings, Team Silent slapped a bunch of fog onto the game, which fortunately gave it a more ominous tone, but conveniently improved performance as well. The fog in the Silent Hill 2 remake is still present to provide a bleak tone for the game's visuals, but the developers aren't utilizing it to its full potential. Some games make distant buildings look horrendous to save performance instead of just outright making them disappear, and the Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't even do that. Fine details still appear on the distant objects, but we never would have even seen it in the unmodded version because of the fog. Sure, you could say DLSS and frame generation are excellent solutions for gamers to not spend a fortune on a new
but that
card
input
to run
lag
these
is
games.
fucking
But as we can see from the
disgusting,
recommended
bro.
specs, there are also solutions for developers to not make basic fixes for their games because they're thinking, well, why would we make our game run good when DLSS can do it for us? The RTX 4090 can't even play Silent Hill 2 at 4K, which is the industry's current mainstream resolution, at 60 frames per second. That is not only
60.
crazy, but it's unacceptable when it's clear that there are obvious fixes that will make the game in question run better without using upscaling. But despite all the graphical issues, it still should have won something at the Game Awards, goddammit.
And Silent Hill 2. And the Game Award for audio
Astrobot.
design goes to
Silent Hill 2, right? Come on.
Senua's Saga.
Hellblade again?
The PlayStation 5 Pro, which is the best console on the market for gaming, and over $1,000 in Canada if you want the disc attachment, uses its own AI upscaling technology known as PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. I remember when the PlayStation 5 was revealed back in 2020, they were preaching that this is a huge step for gaming because developers don't have as many graphical limitations anymore to how they want their game to look. Because of the convenience of power, developers are now making more limitations because of these short-term solutions like upscaling and frame generation to optimize their game.
Bro, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I don't turn DLSS on. I also don't turn upscaling on, and I will never turn on frame generation because that shit is corny, bro. I'd rather my game run slowly, bro, than to have AI generated shit, bro.
For them, PSSR is not good for the future of console gaming. Think about it. Consoles don't allow for advanced graphical customization. On PC, you can select the texture quality, draw distance, shader quality, reflections, and on console, you can choose between performance or quality. In-depth graphics customization will never be a thing on consoles because they're made with the intention to be convenient. So now that we have PSSR, what's stopping these companies from making an unoptimized video game using PSSR to make it run a stable 30 FPS and then calling that the quality setting? This, right now, when some games can't even play 60 FPS at 4K on the fattest GPU on the market, is not good and will only give future developers
and he's talking about like without being a streamer or anything like that, just playing the fucking game, bro. Imagine streaming. That shit'll make it even harder, bro. It'll probably run at 15.
Incentive to use shortcuts while making the game's visuals.
Ray tracing.
2 words that's been crammed into every gaming tech presentation ever since 2018. So here's a quick explanation of what ray tracing actually is. Ray tracing is a graphics technique that simulates how light behaves in the real world to create photorealistic frames. Prior to ray tracing's explosive entrance into the industry in 2018, developers would have to make their own lighting techniques in the game to simulate as accurately as possible how the light and reflections would behave.
I remember
The thing about ray tracing is that in most modern games, you won't even notice a difference. Most of the awe you'll get from a game that's ray traced is the placebo effect whispering in your ear that the game looks way better. This is Cyberpunk with ray tracing on max, and this is Cyberpunk with ray tracing off. As you can see, there is a graphical upgrade with ray tracing, but more importantly, there's a huge dent in performance. Ray tracing has actually existed for a very long time, though.
Yeah, I saw that shit on Minecraft.
The idea for it was thought up in 1968, and Pixar started using it in their animated films, beginning its reign in A Bug's Life from 1999.
That's crazy.
Granted, they only used it for like 2 shots, but regardless, they did use ray tracing. That's why 3D animated movies from the early 2000s still look better than modern day stylized games. Now that we have the technology to implement ray tracing in video games, though, it's a pro and a con. In some games that don't have detailed casting effects like Minecraft, ray tracing is an enormous upgrade. But
niggas worried about graphics too much nowadays. Like, yeah, we want it, but like, damn, bro, make the game run better.
Ray tracing is an option.
I don't give a fuck that Black Ops 6 looks good, bro. I can't play it.
New expensive technology means the downfall of an old but gold method of creating reflection. I'm gonna use Half-Life 2 for this example.
Shout out Half-Life 2.
In Half-Life 2, Valve used planar reflections to create convincing
looking water. I still have Half-Life 2 because you kind of needed it for Gary's mod.
While this can be expensive to performance if used on a large face of water like an ocean, for example, it's great for something small like a puddle. Now you guys may be saying, Justin, don't be a dingus, you dingus! Technology needs to evolve over time. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the same place forever. And I 100% agree with you. You're not wrong. I just think that a lot of modern developers are putting all of their chips into ray tracing, even though most modern GPUs still struggle to run games with ray tracing on. In Star Wars Outlaws, for example, there's no option to turn ray tracing off. You can only lower and enhance the quality. All I'm saying is that while I would like to get to the point where every game automatically has ray tracing on, I just feel like most gamers aren't there yet, since a lot of people still use GTX 1080s, RTX 2080s, and whatever the AMD alternatives are, I don't really know. So why limit your audience? There should absolutely be ray tracing options, but I think the developers should.
Ironically enough, though, I'm AMD on the CPU.
still put a lot of effort into optimizing their games for when ray tracing is off, so it still looks good and not muggy everywhere.
Until it's just not as good, in my opinion.
Most people don't have the money to sink into a brand spanking new 4090 that can actually utilize ray tracing well. So the rest of the gamers, including console gamers, are forced to be stuck with these subpar water effects and reflections because the developers think that they can just glaze over it as fast as possible since there's an easy, quick solution, and that's to let ray tracing do the work for them. I love ray tracing. I love shadow quality. A lot of reflective surfaces, but let's be real, this is too much for what we can handle right now. We can barely even run 4K open world games on the newest cards, so why are we building...
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, I don't actually experience this issue because I don't ever really play my games at 4K. All my games are run at 1080p because I'm a streamer and a YouTuber, so I don't think it makes sense for me to try and run games in 4K. I think 1080p is fine. At the moment, when I get a beefier computer, because I stream off of one computer and I play the games on the same computer. When I get a beefier computer, or maybe I get a second computer, then I'll probably start running games at like 1440, 4K. And even then, I still really don't care that much.
Video games for ray tracing. That is insanity. And again, if ray tracing is an option, that's great. All I'm saying is the game should still look good for the people that don't want to have it enabled. Developers need to optimize their graphics to where the gamers are,
one of those
and
people.
not 100% to where the newest hardware is. Of course, optimize it so the games look as good as possible on that hardware, but don't make it impossible for everybody else, because that's just a lose-lose for everybody involved. Now, these new games, Stalker 2, Remnant 2, Silent Hill 2, The Witcher 4, all have something in common, and it's that they're all made in the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5, to be specific. When Unreal Engine 5 was announced, people thought it would be a huge leap for developers since it would handle a lot of the fine graphical details, taking the work off of the programmers. The flaw with UE
Metahumans, that shit was cold, bro. I thought that was so fire when it came out.
5 is that the graphics are incredible, but they're also expensive and unoptimized. Most of these Unreal Engine 5 games suffer the same issues, and that's not only bad performance, but very blatant ghosting. Ghosting is when a frame lingers for a bit, even after it moves on. There's also
you usually see ghosting in hair. Ghosting is very noticeable with like hair and like very thin objects as well.
Clear flickering problems, and the hardcore push for temporal anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is a graphics technology that's been around for a while, to be fair, which removes the jagged edges on objects. With it off, the game is completely raw. Each pixel is exactly where it needs to be, at the cost of everything looking sharp. What anti-aliasing does is it slightly blurs the image by softening the edges on objects. It makes it appear less like a video game and more like a picture. TAA is used pretty much everywhere now in modern gaming, and if you stand still, it looks pretty good, but if you move, it looks blurry and horrendous. Red Dead Redemption 2
I don't usually like to turn on anti-aliasing, but
for a game that's made with the idea that TAA will be enabled. The game without it looks weird, and with it on, looks blurry. It's clear that the developers didn't take the time to optimize the game without it, and instead decided to really push for TAA. But the problem is that TAA in Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't completely optimized either, and just ruins the image when the game is moving, which is, you know, most of the game. Stalker 2, an Unreal Engine 5 game, is probably the perfect example of a game that relies on TAA to look good, and it's clear that the game was made with TAA in mind, because the trees are dithered without it on. So basically, if you want to play a modern video game, you either get sharp, unrealistic, and untouched graphics, or turn anti-aliasing on. And
bro, I'm not gonna lie, this is why I've been starting to go more with like indie games and stuff like that, bro, especially for like horror, indie horror games, bro, because like, oh my god, sometimes you would think some of these indie developers are like AAA developers by the way some of these games be coming out, man.
Get a main dish of blurry game with a side of ghosting. Anti-aliasing was not always this much of an issue though. Let's look at Skyrim. With anti-aliasing off, the game looks sharp, sure, but it still looks great. While Red Dead Redemption 2 with anti-aliasing off looks sharp and weird, and like the developers never even wanted it to be an option. It's another strange time for gaming. In 2008, we had the notorious piss filter trend, where every game had a brown and yellow color scheme. In 2018, every game had to have a battle royale mode, and in 2024, every game is made in Unreal Engine 5, and nothing runs as well as it should. To prevent this from happening, developers need to slow down and take the time to
I remember the battle royale dump. Oh my, I remember the battle royale dump. I remember when Black Ops came out with their battle royale. I forgot what it was called. It was like it was like Black Point or something, bro. It was Blackout. They came out with Blackout. I was like, why is Call of Duty jumping on the battle royale wave? And then Warzone came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, bro.
Clutter, that class,
and all these games that I used to love have battle royale modes. I'm like, bro, this is boring. How can we make this
reflection look good without ray tracing? And they need to consider the broad audience of gamers instead of what the loaded game journalists who can actually run the game at max settings will say about it.
What the hell?
And most importantly, what do you guys think about all this? How can developers fix this modern issue in gaming? Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments below, and
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of similar to
as soon as I possibly can.
How I feel.
As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and make sure to have a good one. Also, I wrote a song about this.
Oh, nigga. I'm gonna have to stay for this. What the fuck is going on? Bro, look like a good boy? You do.
I hate TAA. Choppy gameplay.
Okay.
For the price I pay, I would think that most the shit I buy would run okay. I can't trace no rays. Back in the day, I swear that I could run. If this is AAA, then there's something that I gotta say.
All I'm gonna say is, bro, the only game that I'm looking forward to right now is GTA 6. So as long as GTA 6 doesn't have any of these issues, it comes out on console first. Every GTA does. I don't know why people think that it's just gonna come out on PC. No GTA has ever come out on PC first, guys. Come on, use your brains. It's gonna come out on console first, but I hope when they bring it over to PC, it's not fucking terrible. Like Spider-Man 2, they finally put it on PC, and from what I hear, it's a terribly optimized game, unfortunately. When Cyberbug came out, oh brother.
What happened to my friends?
The Sims 1 and 2 just came out though. Or well, not just came out, but like just got re-released.
Look the same, and I know that my PC
I am still looking forward to Pair Lives though.
Oh no, what happened to my friends? What happened to my friends? When all of these games still look the same, and I know that my PC isn't to blame. Oh no, it isn't to blame.
There's no
Tell
way.
me that this will last forever.
What? Come on, don't say that. You're not old.
My nigga, that case is god awfully old, my nigga. Unless you did the whole sleeper build where you put like a 4090 and like a Threadripper or some shit in a like old ass case. That is an old ass case, bro.
Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and your graphics card is only 10 numbers under the best one on the market right now. The RTX 2080.
What's that clunky ass charger for?
Baby, that's for my phone.
Oh, come on. What are you looking at now? Oh!
Baby, it's not what it looks like. Maybe she does have the better graphics card and CPU, but come on, you're the fatter one. Don't...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my boy. I'm not gonna lie, my boy. I'm gonna leave it there. bro.